I've looked into not as much as a professional by any means, but a fair amount because I think in 2 years ago, I got into
Yeah, I
the whole
remember.
trading, trying to trade. So I did a lot of research, and dude, at the like center of blockchain technology that drives cryptocurrency, it makes a lot of sense, and it has a great amount of value to in today's society. Because basically, what it is, if you let's go back to the history of currency, right? And what is currency? Currency is something that holds value. So, like, if you're selling me an apple, and I want that apple, but if so, before okay, let's go even further back. Let's go to the barter system because that's how it started, right? Transactions, monetary transactions. So, barter system, the obvious handicap is that what makes one apple worth one sheep? Like, it's very arbitrary.
Right.
It's hard to standardize, especially like when you start going further distance away from home and when you have different cultures and all. It just gets really messy.
It's hard to give value to things.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly. And so then we moved to the various currencies, and eventually we landed up on the one that we're familiar today, something that is standard, that's accepted by everyone, and once it's accepted by everyone, only then it holds value. Because if everyone doesn't accept it, it's useless. Like, if dollar wasn't used, let's
Any currency.
yeah, any
Money
currency.
in general.
Yeah, exactly. And what gold did, going back to gold, what gold did was it was decentralized, and by that I mean no one person controlled all the gold because of its pure physicality. Like, if you had a piece of gold, I can't control it, right? Because you literally have it. And two, it was highly, because of the limited quantity, you can't have an sudden explosion of supply or in gold. So there's no inflation, because like what happens with inflation is the government just pours in more and more money, so each unit money is worth less, right? You can't have that with gold because it's a fixed amount.
Yeah.
So, but the issue with those two things is the decentralization came at a high price, right? Because you physically had to have it, and if you want to give it to someone, make a transaction, you had to physically go exchange it. So that was the issue with it. And then after gold, we got the currency we use today. Now that fixed the convenience part, but that came at a price of the decentralization part. Now it's central. Now the government owns the money. They get to print it, and that's just, well, the issue is pretty evident. It's only one person controls it. Now, what cryptocurrency did was it's the first currency that solved both the problems. So one, it was decentralized. It's by definition, no one person owns it. It's all on this thing that we call the blockchain, the ledger, and so that's all. And no one person controls it. It's all, everyone has the same access to the same ledger. Everyone can see it. Everyone knows how much there is and whatnot. And two, there's a fixed supply. It's 21 million.
Yeah.
So now, obviously, that's the core value to it. But now there are other issues to it, which is one, like any currency, until everyone doesn't accept it, it's inherently useless.
But